Hi, it's Mama Trauma. I'm here with Pillow Talk, mid-afternoon, brought to you by two wonderfully sleeping toddlers. I wanted to talk to you today about realizing that you have a birth trauma issue. Maybe you have post-traumatic stress disorder from it, or PPD, which is postpartum depression, or, a myriad of other problems. Maybe you have something physically wrong from your birth, and you've decided that you want to seek some kind of action. Um, this can be so confusing because there's not a lot of information online about it, which is why I started the blog in the first place. Um, so I hope that this can help some of you out with that, girlfriend to girlfriend, because I've been there to a degree. I was unable to get lawyers or police officers or the attorney general or anybody of that nature to take on my case, but I have talked to everybody I possibly can. My case is right now waiting for an investigator with the state medical board of licensure. So, anyways, what I would suggest first and foremost is find yourself a support group. Um, Even if that's just your husband, your own mom, a group of moms, somebody that you can confide in on a regular basis. Somebody who's gonna maybe not necessarily understand. Understanding would be great, but somebody who can at least listen to you and tell you that whatever happens, it's gonna be okay. Um, Understanding is not high expectations, but it's a little bit difficult given the circumstances. A lot of people are just like, well, it was a doctor. What are you thinking? Obviously it was just procedural, but you need somebody who's going to listen to you. Um, More first foremost is to find a therapist, and that's not a bad thing. That doesn't mean you're crazy. Doesn't mean you can't handle it. It just means that you need somebody to help work out your thoughts. And they're the professionals in thought sorting. So you need a therapist. I would suggest at least finding a counselor, if not somebody who can um, deal with medications if you want to. Sometimes the situations get bad enough to require medications, but you may not need that. So that's going to be between you and your therapist or your doctor. Um, and feel free to obviously try natural remedies, um, and obviously the thought sorting before you even go that route. Medications is a pretty serious deal. Um, Secondly, I suggest, and you would probably do this, when you talk to your therapist too, is write down your birth story. You're going to want to write down two versions. One for you, and maybe even to share, with friends, family. If you want to put it on the blog, you can do that. Um, this is your emotional, this is your kind of like a journal entry quality. Um, you will probably write it in tears and anger. You might want to crumple it up and throw it at the wall when you're done. Um, this is for you. You need to get it out into, so to speak, into the open. So write your birth story. Um, your second letter will be more of a professional tone letter. You don't want emotions in it. You don't want to do any name calling, any bashing. You're going to want to include more I statements in this letter, which we've talked about on the blog before. I statements, for example, I felt defeated when the doctor said I could not do a vaginal birth. Um, I'll link that blog post at the bottom. So your emotional birth story, write it out, and then write out a professional letter. So now what are you going to do with a professional letter? Either you can send it to somebody, or you can just hang on to it. That's entirely up to you and your comfort level. What I always try to tell people is that if we felt violated by a situation from a doctor, midwife, whoever, and we don't complain about it, nobody will ever know that that happened, and it can't be fixed, or it can't be dealt with in any way. Um, Again, up to you. I chose to file formal complaints for mine because I feel strongly that if it happened to me, it might have already happened to other women, and it might continue to happen to more women. So I wanted to do my part. So the next step of processing after you've done your letter would be to um, talk to the doctor's office involved if you want to. Um, if you are going to talk to your doctor's office, like maybe the head doctor, do that before you file a formal complaint with the medical board in your state. Because what will happen is once you file a formal written complaint with your medical board, they are required to send it to the doctor and the doctor's office. So you don't want to blindside them if you wanted to talk to them first. So talk to them first if you want. Then file complaints with the state medical board, or the state nursing board, whatever, midwifery board, whatever certifying organization they're with for the state. You also will want to, if you're in the United States, file written complaints with the Joint Commission, with possibly with the ACLU, the American Civil Liberties Union. You may want to contact the National Advocates for Pregnant Women. I know here in Delaware they don't have any lawyers, excuse me, who can offer legal counsel, but they may in your state. Those are just a few. Let me check my notes here. A few suggestions for you. There's many more suggestions on the blog. These other organizations that you may contact, like the National Advocates for Pregnant Women, you can send them that same professional letter. You can use the same letter for everybody. Maybe just add an addendum saying that you are looking for help in this issue, above and beyond the Medical Board of Licensure. And I guess the last suggestion, if you have something physically wrong with you from your birth trauma, you may consider trying to find a malpractice lawyer. I was unable to find a malpractice lawyer for my case because it dealt with a doctor. There was nothing physically wrong with us. It was just mental. It was PTSD. So they didn't want to hear any parts of it. But your case obviously may be very different. And if that's an option, maybe find a lawyer. I found also contacting RAINN, which is the Rape, Incest, Abuse National Network, not in that order. I found that very helpful because mine was also sexual assault related as far as my birth trauma, and they were very understanding. My state hotline was not so helpful, but RAINN was really great. So I hope that those suggestions help you out. Please check out the blog for more tips and for continuing effort to help us all get through this craziness called life and birth trauma. I hope that helps, guys. Bye.